DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, I hope you're well. It is Sunday, and Sunday afternoon, actually. It must be past 4 or something like that. What time is it? Yeah, I'd say it's 10 past 4 about. And just walking around the house a little bit. Oh, it's been a relatively quiet Sunday. Went to church this morning, and we were, I've vlogged this before, but very often when we come back at 11:30 our time, there's a service in England, which is 10:30 their time, and it's a lot of our friends that when we used to live in England go there. So we end up going with them, so to say, because they have a live stream. Yeah, and after that was over, well, with Mrs. DC, we made a cheese fondue and had a bit of alone time. And now she might even, she's over her nap, but she took a nap. And I'm outside, yeah. Oh, I was, yesterday, when did I vlog about that? On Friday, yeah. I vlogged that I was going to make a charshui, or something like that. Tsiu. I do not know how to pronounce it, and I've seen that people pronounce it in many different ways online. So it's basically pork, and I told you about that, so I'm not going to go into it again. But it was really good. It was. It's not very difficult to make, and it was good. Yeah, so that was yesterday, and the grandkids were fun. Yeah, just a minute. I'm going to sit down. Yeah, here we are. Get that straight. There we are. Yeah, so we had a kind of a family birthday, a little birthday party yesterday. So second son of DC's partner had his birthday yesterday. So they came over in the afternoon. We had cake and ice cream and sang happy birthday. It was good. It was fun. Yeah, it was. I was seeing something online these days, and since today is December 1st, and we are the first Sunday of Advent, which means, that, Christmas is a month away. Yeah. And I was seeing things online that kind of made me smile. I say kind of because in reality it kind of made me sad as well. Now, when I was a kid, as now, of course, Christmas was a big thing. But people would go to church on Christmas, and sometimes it would be people would go, like uncles. I had uncles of mine would go to church, let's say 2 times a year. They go at Christmas, usually on Christmas Eve, and then go into the Réveillon. So if you're in the French-speaking part of the world, that's the meal that we have around midnight or past. And they would go at Easter. Yeah. And Easter was more important because usually before Easter they go in, and if they were Catholic, for example, they'd have confession or something like that. Anyway, all that to say is that there was some type of veneer, and still there was a kind of a pseudo-belief leading on to superstition. You had to go probably a couple times a year to remain okay within your faith or your religion. Well, what I've been seeing online on YouTube, and I mean because I'm getting back to Canada where I used to live, but it's pretty much the same over here now, is that there's been a lot more immigration in the last few years, and it's kind of delicate because very often the immigrants that are coming are not of the same faith-based groups. Wow, I'm really stepping on eggs. Not in the same faith-based groups as the original people were. Now, I've been seeing this online mostly from people from Canada, Quebec, but I'm certain it applies to other places from what I've heard. I know it does, actually. So what I've been seeing online is, like little pictures, like pictograms where you will see a cross with a shroud on it, or you will see a manger, or you will see different things that represent Christian faith. And this from people which I actually know haven't, I was going to say, haven't darkened the church in years, in many years. And so what it's saying is that these are my traditions. If you don't agree, go back home or something like that. So I'm kind of thinking, like all of a sudden, faith-based images become traditions. So where do you make the difference between faith and tradition? I mean, tradition is the way you live, I guess. But when those traditions are clearly faith-based, what do you do with them? And there's been discussions about that actually with people that I know. Like how do you go about Christmas, for example? Is it tradition? Is it faith-based? Is it both? When do you start being a hypocrite? And when do you basically you will hear Christians will say there's the reason for the season, things like that. But I'm just thinking, I was talking with somebody the other day where they were saying Christmas is a time where I can show unconditional love to my kids by giving them non-expected presents. I thought, that's kind of nice, and it is a bit of the Christian message, I suppose. Yes, isn't it? Non-conditional love by unexpected presents, which is grace and justification. So you can get by saying something like that. But still, when I see, and like I say, it's on Facebook, and it's actually people that I used to go to school with, and I mean way back. I'm talking about grade school. And unless they've really, really made, and I know they haven't actually, made extreme change in their life, they're not going more to church than they used to. But they're expecting people to take on their beliefs and traditions. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm conservative, I'm Christian, and I'd be very happy if everybody if everybody was believing as I did, in a way, albeit I don't want everybody to be like I am. And that's different. Yeah, it's a touchy situation, isn't it? I mean, it's like all the politics that have been going on lately. People have been having meltdowns because somebody is different from them, or groups that are different from them are getting into power. And it probably would be the other way around as well, up to a point. So where is the difference? I mean, when I was in university, I have to admit that when I came from a small village, I had very rarely met anybody that was not Judeo-Christian, but even further than that, I have rarely met anybody that wasn't white. And I'm very serious about that. I mean, I had met a few, but really, really very few. I mean, less than I can count on one hand, probably. Yeah. And yeah, I was curious, but curious in the good way. In today's world, we don't seem to want people to be different. Although, different can be good. But I don't know, it's one of these things where you kind of think like accepting differences is one thing. Accepting situations which are morally utterly wrong are another thing. And where is that line? So that's basically what I'm getting at. Is, I mean, when I'm seeing that these things on Facebook from people, I'm thinking like, okay, you got to realize that people will not believe everything that you believe. you got to accept that people might not like what you're doing. Now, if you're the immigrant or a person that's living in another culture, you have to accept that there's going to be other traditions, which are going to go contrary to what you want. So, over in Canada, from what I can see, and in America, and here now as well, more and more, people are bending over backwards not to so-called offend and reneging on their traditions. Okay. And then at the same time, you wonder, like, when your traditions have no background, I mean, you don't believe in what you're saying, you're just doing it because it feels good. So what are you supposed to do? Tell me about it. What do you think? I mean, I know what I think. And I think, up to a point when you're not impeding on another person's dignity of life, okay, would I like everybody to be, have the same faith that I do? Yeah, I would actually. But, they have the right not to believe. But there shouldn't be a right, to stop me from doing something that's part of my belief, as long as I'm not putting, for example, their life in danger. Well, you know what, I think you get what I'm going at. I'm kind of like bouncing ideas here and there, because that's the way it feels right now, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to stop there because I've been seeing I'm up to 12 minutes now, and that's enough. But you can see that's the season. This is the season now where a lot of these discussions are going to be coming along. Thanksgiving's just passed. People are not going to stop. They're going to stop talking about politics. They're going to start talking about religion. So you never get out of it, do you? Yeah. Okay, let's stop there. DC signing off. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.